Hi guys, welcome back to Salvage, welcome back to the channel. Right, in today's video we are back on the Polo, day 2 on the Polo. I was going to say I would explain why the indicators are flashing, but they have just stopped. But I will explain that in a moment. Right, I know some of you guys have also been asking about the Mustang as well. I will be getting onto that. The reason that I'm doing the Polo today is because it's currently stuck on the ramp. Obviously because we can't do anything with the steering, so the only way I can get this Polo off the ramp is on the transporter. So I thought while it was on the ramp, I'll do the second video on this so we can have a look under it, take the wheels off, build the brakes back up, and try and find another spare wheel, which I think I have, to put on that near side front disc, and then hopefully there's nothing untoward with the Polo, and then we can get the Polo off the ramp, just leave it on the transporter, seeing as I won't be using that for a while, and then we can crack on with the Mustang. So obviously I've got a bit of free time in the next sort of week or two, so hopefully it's going to be quite a lot going on. So as I was just saying, do the Mustang, and then we're going to do a big workshop tidy up because it is just a mess. That's just how I roll. And also got a couple of packages that we need to unwrap and we need to sort out. You're probably going to see this package here at some point. It is related, so that's going to be quite obvious once you see that what is going on there. Once we've done all that, set up those packages, cleared the workshop, and then we're going to do the 3.2. I'm going to do the bumper repair on that now. I have a bit of time, and yeah, so hopefully there will be quite a lot of content over the next few weeks, guys. Also the RS3, that's back from Body Shop. As I said, I'm driving that around now, and I will do a full detail video on that as well, because it looks absolutely sweet. So I want to get it on camera again one final time before I drive it around more, and then we can start modifying it as well. So as always, guys, if you do enjoy these videos, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, please do head over to my Instagram, which is up there, saving_salvage. Right, enough waffling, let's crack on with the Polo. Right, so as I was just mentioning, the indicators were going mental, and I'm pretty sure if I open the door, if you can see that, see the flashing immobiliser, the car thinks it's locked, so when I open the door, the indicators start going off. So that is obviously, the alarm was supposed to be going off, but because the battery is so knackered, it's not even making a noise. So as I said, I've had this battery on charge overnight, and I mean, just look at the interior lights still. They're pulsing. Don't know if you can see, they're just really weak. They look bright on the camera actually, but they're just really weak and they're pulsing all the time. So as soon as I turn it off, there you go, look. As soon as bearing in mind that's been on charge all night, as soon as I take it off charge, completely dead again. So that battery, knackered, not having it. So we'll turn that off. Turn the bloody egg timer off. Right, yeah, some of you guys said that the locking wheel key was in the boot. It's not actually the locking wheel key, it's just the locking wheel bolt. I think there's only one of them as well, so I probably will end up getting a whole new set. Also, some of you guys mentioned I didn't show an under bonnet picture and were concerned I hadn't been sold an engine. Let me just prop it up. What I should have said in the last video is there's quite a lot of people on Copart that try to con buyers, because a lot of it's online. Most people buy blind like I do and don't actually go down and look at the vehicle. So what buyers like to do to scam people sometimes is take the engine out of the car, take the engine and gearbox out, and they like to jam the bonnet shut so it can't be opened. So then no one actually knows if it's got an engine or not. And to look like it's got an engine on with the weight, etc., they either cut the coil springs or take the coil springs out completely, so it just looks like, so obviously with an engine out it's going to sit a little bit higher and it's going to look a bit suspicious. So if they take the springs out, it's going to look like there's weight on it and it'll look like there's an engine in there. So people do that to try and scam people. So a word of advice: never buy a car from Copart unless they have a picture with the bonnet up and you can see a picture of the engine. Luckily this Polo did have a picture exactly like this actually, so I knew the engine and gearbox was going to be there, so that is all fine. Looking underneath, it all looks good. Can confirm this car was stolen, as you can see here as well, look. So it's just a simple stolen, recovered, not much damage. But everything looks good, all looks clean, nothing untoward, nothing's been nicked. Someone also made a very good point about the damage here, about that being the forklift at Copart, where they stick the forks under and pick the car up. That's exactly what it is. I'm not even going to bother trying to think about what else it could be. That is 100% what the damage is, which is actually very frustrating, because if Copart weren't such knobheads and took care of the cars that they had, that damage wouldn't have been there. So it's a little bit more frustrating. So guys, if any of you that are just watching this for the first time that didn't see my previous video, I'll stick it in the top corner for you when I collected, first video of me collecting this car and the first walk around. So in today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to take that wheel off, build the brakes back up, which the carrier, randomly, there it is. We have a carrier, put that there. And also here is the disc. So we're going to fit those back on. I'm going to try and find a spare wheel, sack that off, try and find a spare wheel that actually fits over the discs, so then they're all good. And then we're going to put the car up in the air, have a look underneath properly, make sure there's nothing else been taken or missing, anything like that, look at any damage or anything. And then what I'm also going to do is, just for a little bit of peace of mind, I'm just going to, from underneath, turn the engine over by hand, just so I know it's a freely reciprocating engine and there's no seizures or of any description. I don't think there will be, but it's just, I can do it, so I will do it. Right, first thing I'm going to do is get all this crap off the windscreen, clean that up because that's annoying and looks crap. And then we're going to get it up in the air and start taking off those brakes. Windscreen looks beautiful, and that is the most exercise I'm going to do all bloody week. I'm knackered now. So we've got it up in the air first. I thought we'd have a quick look underneath it before we start taking off the wheels and having a look. So we're just going to have a quick look underneath. So I have had a quick brief look just so I know what I'm talking about, so I can actually talk instead of looking at stuff for the first time. So it is actually just absolutely spot on under here. It's just very dirty. That's the only thing I can see. The only thing is that under tray is slightly cracked here. I mean, it's not really an issue. I think it's actually more the wheel arch liner than the under tray, but that's a very minor issue. It's just very dirty. So everything looks in place. Everything looks good to me. The only thing is I am actually missing a brake pad, which is devastating, which means I'm going to have to put a set of front pads on this, and also the carrier bolts are missing as well, that bolts the brake caliper to the carrier. So hopefully they might be in the car, so we're going to have a look at that in a minute, but if not, I'll have to order a kit. They might come with it, but probably not. So we'll have to look into that. But everything else absolutely looks spot on. There's no other damage. Everything's in place as it should be. There's no oil leaks or anything like that. All looks good. Sump all looks good. Not damaged or anything like that. So from the front end, everything looks spot on. And just going down again, all looks good. Perfect on the rear axle. Nothing untoward. Everything looks good. It just looks like a car that's done 20,000 miles. So absolutely spot on under here. Just that, obviously, brakes we can have a look at, and a slight bit of damage to the under tray, which is nothing major at all. So that is very good news. So let's get it down and take off this wheel. Well, that was certainly fun. Basically, where they'd pushed the brake pedal down too much because there's only one pad in there. The piston came out a bit too far and it just popped out just slightly, and it was very hard to get back in straight. Ended up having to use a brake wind back tool and having to force the other pad out because there just wasn't enough leverage to get in there. So I had to basically break the back of that pad to get it out, and then I could use my wind back tool, and eventually, after a little bit of swearing, we managed to get it in, and then it pushed back absolutely fine. So that's good now. So now we'll be able to fit. What I'll do is for the time being, because we don't want that to happen again, because obviously we are a pad down, so I will put that pad back in, and what I'll do is the other side where the other pad would normally go, I'm just going to put a plank of a little bit of wood. Obviously the car's not driving anywhere, so it doesn't matter. This little bit of wood is just purely so the piston doesn't pop out again, and it just keeps it nice and pushed back. So, right, we've just got the caliper pushed back, got it just resting on there slightly, so now I'm just going to lower the car and hope that they've been nice enough as they have been with the seats and left me some bolts. So I've just had a quick look and we were so close to a full house. So I've managed to find both carrier bolts. I even found the little screw that holds the disc on here, but I only found one caliper bolt and one plastic bung for the back of the bolt. So not quite a full house, but we do have enough to be able to bolt it back on. So obviously when parts open up again, I'll just have to order one of these, and actually I'm sure I'll have one of these laying around, so hopefully I just need one of these. So we'll get this now built back up, and I'm hoping down there, that there is a space saver that came out of my old, what did it come out of? Don't even know. Ah, yeah, it came out of my old Golf that I ended up scrapping. So I'm hoping that's going to actually fit. We'll find out in a minute. But let's get this wheel built back up. Right, there we go, all built back up. The other thing I didn't actually have is a spring clip here as well. So I need to order one of those as well. But we're all in position. We've got our 2 bolts for the carrier on, just got that 1 bolt for the caliper on. As you can see here, I've used my little makeshift brake pad, just a little bit of wood just to jam in there, and I've pressured the brakes up, so now it's stuck in there as well, and that's just to stop the piston from overshooting the caliper. So that's all good, and obviously the car's not going anywhere anyway until we've got a key. That is just to protect the caliper. So now I'm hoping that that tyre down there is going to fit on. I'm pretty sure it's a 5100. Looks like it is. Wait. Wait. Beautiful. Straight on. Right, so there we go, all built back up now, and managed to find a space saver myself to stick on there. So it was just a case that they removed the disc and caliper to fit that crappy wheel down there on. So that is good news. There's just one bolt and a spring clip that I need, and obviously a set of brake pads now to complete that, but that is all fine. Not an issue. So now we're going to have a quick look at this wing as well, because that is the only other bit of damage other than the bumper that just needs painting that we can have a look at. So what I'm going to do is hope that I'm just going to undo these couple of bolts here, and then maybe just get my finger behind there and just pop it out. That's what I'm hoping. Probably not going to happen, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. Okay, so I've popped most of it out, to be fair. It's not perfect, but it does look better than what it did before. I have a dent man that I use that's pretty shit off at stuff getting dents out, so I might give him a call and just see if there's anything he can do with this at all. Might not be. It might be a case of either leaving it or just put a whole new wing on it. But I'll give him a call, see what he thinks, send him a picture, and hopefully he'll be able to come down and get those out a bit better than that. But that looks good enough for the time being. It's not as noticeable now anyway. So that's pretty much all we can do at the moment on the Polo. I've had a quick look at this trim bit here as well. That is beyond repair. It's all bent and twisted here, so we're just going to order a new one of those. Hopefully it won't be too expensive. I have completely scoured the inside of this car in the hope of finding a key possibly, but no such luck. So I did phone my local dealer. They did answer, but they did tell me that they won't be able to order a key until they are open for business, and even then it would take roughly 2 weeks to arrive as well. So I'm kind of looking at best part of 5 to 6 weeks before we even see a key for this car, which is a bit annoying, and there's literally nothing anyone can do about it. So unless anyone knows of any way of possibly getting a key for this car, let me know in the comments, but otherwise it's probably going to be a 6-week wait. Right guys, just before we go for today's video, I'm going to quickly show you around the RS3 because it is back from the body shop. Take a look at this. How good does this RS3 look? I gave it a slight clean yesterday. There will be a full detailing video to come on this car over the coming weeks, but it is all back from the body shop. Wheels are all absolutely done. All of them got done. All perfect now. And it just looks absolutely mint. And even the best bit is the interior is even cleaner. Again, I've just given it a quick hoover out, but just look how good this interior looks. It is literally like a brand new car. Looks so good. So as I was saying, there will be a full detailing vid coming on this car soon. I am now driving around in it. That is my daily for the moment, and then once I've got a few 100 miles on it, I will, in fact I'm just going to go back inside, because knowing this crap camera, you're probably hearing a lot of wind noise right now. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm now driving it as a daily. Once I've got a few 100 miles, 300 to 400 miles under the belt, just to make sure everything's all good with the car, we're going to start tuning it. So my plans are to get a full front mount intercooler. I'm going to gut the standard downpipe, and also possibly fit in a high pressure fuel pump. I'm not 100% decided on that yet, and then obviously a remap and a gearbox remap to suit that. So that's the RS3, and I'm now driving around in it. Right guys, that is it for today's video. More good news on the Polo, I think. Hi guys, sorry to interrupt the video. I've just been watching it back whilst editing and realised I didn't even tell you how much I paid for the car. I did say I was going to tell you, so I will tell you now. Most of you actually, as an average, got it pretty much bang on. I think one person knew exactly because he saw the car himself. So yes, the price I paid for this car was £3,500 plus fees, which worked out to a grand total of just over £4,000. And I went and collected it myself. It was only a local Copart, so it was only 40 minutes away, and I was passing anyway, so it didn't cost me anything to collect it. So just over £4,000 the Polo cost me. Right, back to the video. Brakes are good. Found some more bolts, locking wheel key. The only real bad news is obviously that key that's not going to arrive for 5 to 6 weeks, which is a bit of a shitter, but there's nothing really you can do about it. So what we're going to do in the next video, we're going to get the transporter in, we're going to take the Polo out, try and get it off somewhere, because it's going to be a bit of a nightmare trying to store this with it not being able to move. I don't know, any skates or something, so maybe I should look at getting some of those. We're going to get the Polo out, and we're going to get the Mustang on the ramp, and we're going to start, hopefully, all the parts are here, so I'm going to build the front end up, and hopefully that will look like a Ford Mustang, and then we can't even go out on the road with it, because that is not an essential drive. So hopefully we're going to build the rest of the Mustang back up and get that 100%, if I can remember what the hell is left, because it has been a fair while since I've worked on this car. So as always guys, if you do enjoy these videos, please do like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next episode. Cheers guys.